Okay, class. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over charts and how to build charts. And the principle for each chart is pretty much the same on how to build it. But I'm just going to be showing you kind of the basic steps on how to build a chart and how to format the charts to make it look nice. So again, sorry I wasn't able to be there for class on Thursday. So if you guys have questions about this or you have concerns, then email me. Again, this isn't due till Tuesday, so that's pretty nice of me. But let's go ahead and we're going to get started with building these charts. So our first one up here is construct a column chart to examine the median annual earnings for each level of education. Format the chart with a title, Education Income at the top. Okay, so we want to examine the median annual earnings right here for each level of education right here. Okay, so Excel is smart enough that if I was to select this and then I was to select this, it's going to automatically pair these two together and these two together. And that's how Excel works, is that it's going to pair things side by side. So we don't have to worry about trying to make it pair up. It's going to do it automatically. And you'll see what I mean more in a minute. So once you have these two different columns selected, where we have the education attained and then we have the median annual earnings, then go to Insert. And what you can do is there's shortcut charts right here that you can click on. So it technically wants this column a bar chart. What I like to do is I like to go to recommended charts, and it gives you recommendations, and then you can also go to all charts. But I'm going to select this one. Okay, and then so right here we see that this is correct because if we look right here, you can double check your work and you can see, okay, we have less than a high school diploma, and so we look at how much it is. It's 23,000-ish, and we look over here and we have about 23,000. And then you can do the same for all these, but just make sure that whatever you do, make sure that your chart is correct. Double check it with your data to make sure that it makes sense and that it's something that actually is correct. Otherwise, you might get it wrong. Okay, so this is the chart title. We're going to be changing this to Education Income. Make sure you have it exactly the same as how it wants you to have it. Okay, so that's Education Income. At the top, education level, horizontal axis, and format the chart with the title, Education Income at the top. Each education level on the horizontal axis. Okay, so I believe this is the horizontal axis. And there's no legend, so let's see. Okay, so to check for a legend, go to the plus sign right here. And then you can check to see if there's a legend. And there's not, which is what we want. Okay, so I believe that's everything we need to do for this chart. Okay, so we're going to go to the next one. Okay, construct a column chart to examine the unemployment rate for each level of education. Okay. I'm going to let you guys do this one because this is pretty much the exact same thing that we just did. You'll notice right here, though, that this is selected, and you're not going to actually want to select this. You're just going to want to select this and this. And for whatever reason, the Excel helper, when they highlight things that they want you to work with, it had this unemployment rate percentage also selected. But if you do that, so if I was to do it with this, which is what it also wanted me to do for the last one, you'll see that it doesn't know what to do, because right here this isn't paired with anything, and it doesn't know what to do with the median annual earnings. And so you look at that, and this doesn't look good at all, because I don't know what I'm looking at. So whatever you do, make sure that when you make your chart, that it makes sense. Sometimes I've had students who have made charts and they look absolutely awful, they don't make any sense, it just looks really bad. And you'll see that. You guys are going to probably make some charts that are just going to look really funny. That probably means you did it wrong. So make sure it's something that you'd be able to present to some sort of business executive, and they would be able to easily understand what's going on in the chart. If you think someone in a business meeting would have a hard time understanding the chart, then you probably did it wrong. Okay. So we're going to go, I'm going to let you guys do this one. We're going to go to the next one. Okay. So we're going to add a linear trend line to education and income. So to do that, you're going to go to the plus sign, and then you'll see down here, you'll see the trend line, and I believe it gives you more options. So these are just different math equations that show you what type of trend line and what type of trend you can expect. We're just going to be doing a linear, and I think the default is linear. Okay, so that just shows you the trend over time. And then you guys are going to be doing the same thing for the education and unemployment chart, which I'm going to let you do by yourself. Okay. Great. So now Apple Incorporated is one of the most successful companies in the world. The Apple revenue table details the revenue, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so construct a stacked column chart to compare the revenue totals for each year. Format the chart with the title Apple Revenue by Quarter. Okay, so we're going to be doing a stacked chart. And you will see what that is in just a minute. It's going to be easier for me to explain what it is if I just show you. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure, but it does want us to select all of this, including quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, and the year as well. And I think that's going to be okay. I'm not sure if it's going to blow up at us. Looks like it doesn't like that. But we're going to give it a shot anyways. Okay, so this looks pretty good. One of the only problems we're having, if you look at this, so this is the chart that we want to use. So this is the stack column chart. So if you look at it carefully, you'll see that for each year, it shows you the quarter performance for that year. So in quarter 1, if you look at year 1, you'll see it's a very small performance. And okay, so this isn't what we want. This is the idea of what we want, but for whatever reason, it's giving us really funny data. So if you look right here, okay, I'm just going to select it. It's not letting me show you guys. So this is what I'm talking about, where you want to make sure that your chart looks good. So if you look right here, you'll see 2007 right here. And what that's saying is that this light blue color represents 2007. And that makes no sense, because what each one of these columns is supposed to represent a year as well as the quarter inside that year. So, for example, quarter 4 should be right here, and that's what it represents, and it just shows you the quarter and how much of a segment it has in that entire column. Hope that makes sense. If not, just email me. Okay. So now this is wrong. So we need to fix this. And do not include the total revenue. Okay, so we're not going to include the total revenue. So I'm actually going to... I'm just going to select this. I'm not going to select the years. I'm going to see what happens. Okay, let's see. Okay, it likes that a lot better. It looks a lot better. Okay. Okay, so that's correct. Okay, so you're just going to be selecting quarter 1 to quarter 4, as well as the price, or I guess let's say that revenue for each of the quarters all the way up to 2011. So you'll see that's what I selected. Now what we need to do is we need to change these numbers into the year. So this should be 2007, this should be 2008, and so forth. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to go over here to this filter button, and then we're going to go over to select data. Okay, so right here we see that we have these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we want these numbers to actually be the years 2007, 2008, 2009, and 2010, and 2011. So to do that, you're going to click this edit button. Okay, the axis label range. So what you'll do is you'll just select the data and press OK. So this is the years that we want. And there you go. So then you press OK, and that looks so much better. Okay. Then we need to change the name to Apple Revenue by Quarter. Okay. Great. So I believe that's everything we need to do with that. Okay, the quarter revenues in each column and a legend that depicts each quarter. Okay, so what the legend is, if you go over here, we have the legend. Let's see. Okay, so the legend right here is at the bottom. It's the quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. It's just letting you know what each of these colors represent. So you know that the yellow is quarter 4, and the blue is quarter 1, and so forth. Okay. Let's get out of that. Okay, awesome. So we're now on the next one. Okay, the personal computer market is undergoing a transition. Okay, that's great. Construct a pie chart to compare the shipment totals for each company and others in the third quarter of 2011. Okay. So again, it has this selected, and we're not going to select this top one, the 3Q11 shipments. We're not going to select that. All we're going to do is we're going to select these two columns, and then we're going to go over to Insert and Recommended Charts, and we want a pie chart. Is that what we wanted? Yep, pie chart. Okay. Let's see. So format the chart with the title PC Shipments. So again, make sure it's the exact same. I probably shouldn't be typing it because that could leave room for error, but I typed it. So you can do whatever you want. Okay, we want a legend that depicts each company. So right here, this is our legend. The legend, again, is representing, it's telling you what each color and each segment represents. So right here we have HP represents the biggest chunk, and then the next biggest chunk would be either, it's probably Dell. Yeah, it's Dell. And then the others. Okay. Let's see, axis labels, a legend that depicts each company. It's appropriate horizontal range. Okay, and data labels with the percentage for each company on the chart. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to put in data labels inside of these different slices of the pie. And that's to show you the percentage of the total chart. So this would be something like 30%. And we want the 30% to be in here. And we want to show how much of the total chart each slice of the pie takes up. Okay. So let's see. To do that, the data labels. Okay, so data labels, but you're not going to click, so we don't want the number. So if you just do that, all it's doing is it's taking this number and it's putting it over here, which is fine, but that's not what we want. So we're going to go over here to this arrow next to this data labels. And again, make sure you click on this plus sign. Okay, then we're going to go to more options. And let's see. Number. Okay. So over here, you should have this thing that says Format Data Labels, this like little pop-up. If you don't, let's see, what you would do is you'd click Chart Elements, Data Labels, More Options. Okay, it should pop up. So if you don't have it up, then you need to Google how to get that up, because it should be popping up when you press this button and then go to the data labels and then go to more options right here. Okay, so we have, let's see, legend that depicts each company, and then we want this to be a percentage. That's right. Okay, so right here we have value, and we want to click on percentage, and we want to get rid of value. Okay, and that's going to show you the percentage, and then you can